All right, good afternoon. Today's topic is dividing fractions. So make for sure you have your notes page, and we're going to fill out the blanks as we go before you do your practice activity. Okay, the very first blank on your page says we have a specific rule about dividing fractions. We never actually divide. We just multiply by the reciprocal. So the very first blank, it says we never divide fractions. Instead, we multiply by the reciprocal. Now, what does this mean in your own words? The reciprocal is when you flip a fraction upside down. So if I have 2/5, I would make it 5/2. That is the reciprocal of 2/5. Okay, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Some of you may have heard keep, change, flip. And what that refers to is keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second one, which means the reciprocal. So you can put that in your own words next. Okay, example 1 on your paper. I want you to copy this down as I'm going through it. Your problem says 3/4 divided by 1/8. Okay, this means how many 1/8s are there in 3/4? Now first we could start with a picture if we wanted. Okay, and I'm going to divide this into fourths. If I have 1, 2, 3/4 shaded in, but I want to know how many 1/8s are there. Well, I could actually just divide these into 8s, and I can see how many 8s are shaded in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer should be 6 by the time I'm done. Okay, but if we use the rule of multiplying by the reciprocal, I keep my 3/4, change the division to multiplication, and flip this last fraction. Use the reciprocal. Okay, and then all I do now, it's a multiplication problem. It's the same thing we did yesterday in class. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. And then I have to simplify this. This is improper, so I do division. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So there are 6/8 that are in 3/4. That's example 1. You should have that on your paper. Okay. Your turn. Oh, the next question says, what must you do if there's a whole number? Remember, just like with fractions, no whole numbers. So if I have the number 5, I have to make that 5/1. Any whole number becomes over 1. Okay? So my example here, 3 divided by 1/2. Well, I'll make that 3/1. Okay? But it's still division. So I can't just flip it. I have to change its multiplication and flip it at the same time. So 3/1 times 2/1. Okay? And what this is saying is, how many 1/2s are there in 3? You could say 3 whole apple pies. How many half pies are there? Okay? And then so I kept the first one, changed it to multiplication, and flipped this one. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 divided by 1 is just 6. There are 6 halves in 3 whole numbers. Okay, the next one is your turn to try. So you'll need to pause your video after you read the question. And I want to see this on your paper. Roberto has 3/4 of a candy bar that he wants to share with his brother. That means 2 people are sharing it. How much of a candy bar will each of the boys receive? You'll need to pause your video. And when you're done, you'll come check your answer before you move on. All right. So I'm going to make sure you have the problem set up correctly first. Okay. So we have 3/4 of a candy bar, and we are sharing it between 2 people. So we are dividing by 2. Okay. Dividing by 2 people. All right. Now, what happens if there's a mixed number? So there's a blank on your paper for it. And if there's a mixed number, you make it improper. Take that mixed number, make it improper. Okay, so you go through and follow along with me again. To change your mixed number to an improper fraction, you have to multiply your denominator times your whole number. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 be 17/3. Divided by 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. over 6. Now on this one, we do the same thing for our rules for division. We have to make for sure that we multiply by the reciprocal. So it becomes 17/3 times 6/7. Okay, I'm going to let you finish solving this one, but remember, you multiply straight across, multiply straight across. When you do, you're going to have an improper fraction. Okay, you will have an improper fraction here that you need to go ahead and divide to get the mixed number. So you finish this one and pause your video. Okay, last one, example 5 here is your turn. 7 1/2 divided by 2 1/2. Don't forget, no mixed numbers. Make them both improper first. How many halves are there in 7 1/2? How many halves are there in 2 1/2? Rewrite them as improper fractions, and then you use your reciprocal to multiply. Okay, when you're done with this, you will have another activity that you will work on with some cards. Okay, thank you.